Hello everyone, hope you guys can hear me. This is the first time I'm doing such a thing, so bear with me. Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is actually Rezvan. TyNiX is a nickname. And for today I'm going to, answer some questions beforehand brought to you by Roadmaster. And I hope you guys, enjoyed the answers and the questions, of course. So let's not waste any time anymore and get right into it. For Okay, so the first question, I'm gonna read them out loud so you can guys know what I'm going to answer. Please describe your in-game Asphalt 9 track record. Okay, it's very easy. Started off as a noob, basically, because this game's mechanics is a little different from the games I used to play regarding racing and cars. And I think I enjoyed mostly the graphics, and I think I found a very good home in True and Racers United, the club. And well, for the past, let's say, 4 or 5 months, I've been reaching top 100 leaderboards on MP and sometimes on the time limited events. Okay, second question. Earlier you mentioned you see the game differently. When you see all your career statistics, what kind of differences do you see? Okay, I I don't actually see myself as a career, because it's just a game. I mean, you're not earning any money out of this. It's only for fun. And the difference, I think, it's because I look at this game a little different than, let's say, the people who are between the ages of 15 and 25, because they put a lot of heart and soul into the game, because basically you're very competitive at that age. But I don't do that because I like to take it slow. If I don't unlock a car or upgrade a car or something like that, it's fine, because eventually Gameloft will release cars more and more often, like they have done recently, and everything will be good in the end. I think that's the main difference. Patience. Okay, question number 3. What is the secret between mastering all your professional in-game tricks? Okay, tricks. They're not actually tricks. I mean, it's how you basically drive the car. And it I play relaxed, because when I get angry, I usually lose. I mean, lose hard. So when I see I'm starting to lose and getting angry, I usually close the game and take 1 hour or 2 or maybe more from the game, relax, put it behind me, and then restart. I think this is the best way to master the game. Relaxation and chill. Do not rush things, because if you rush things, you're gonna make mistakes. Okay, next question. You played before in Android and now you are on Windows platform. How much difference does it make in gameplay between these two platforms? Okay, first of all, in Android, I only played for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, and I was a TD player there because I could not master the tilt or the touch to drive. It was impossible for me. I tried it in so many ways. Sure, there were options, sorry, to play with a keyboard or controller or something like that, but the screen, even if you have a big phone, the screen is a little small for my choice. And well, basically what I did is switch to Windows platform when I had the chance. So, in my opinion, the difference is, well, the people who can actually play on mobile, I mean, with tilt or touch to drive, I don't know, they are very, very, very skillful players because it is very hard to really master those kind of plays. I mean, if you look at some videos from guys playing on mobile, I mean, they're like aliens, whatever you want to call them. Sometimes they do things which seem impossible, but in reality they aren't. So the engine of the game permits a lot. Okay, next question. Do you play with a controller or with a keyboard, and why? Well, first of all, there were some rumors, let's call it like that. Some people watched some of my videos and said I was playing with a controller. I am not. I cannot. If you don't believe me, listen to this. That's a mechanical keyboard. I cannot use, play, whatever you want to call it, a controller. It's like I have two left arms. I don't know. I cannot use a controller. Not even the D-pad, not even the joysticks. Sure, I have controllers. I tried them on various games, but I never, ever got used to them. Why I use the keyboard is, well, because I never was a console player. I think a lot of people playing with controllers used to be or are console players. I've always been a PC kind of guy, so mouse and keyboard are, well, my way to go. So I basically learned Asphalt 9 with a keyboard. Okay, next question. What is the advantage between playing with a controller and playing with a keyboard? Well, this is a very good question. I think the control definitely has advantages. Why? Because, well, you can take turns a little better with controller because the D-pad is basically constructed a little different than the buttons on the keyboard. I mean, you can press the D-pad and hold it in a position and take the turn and the car won't wiggle. But if you do the same on a keyboard, so pressing the key non-stop, basically you're gonna lose a lot of speed, especially on bad handling cars like Tryon, Regera, or I don't know, 4GT, Cadillac CN, cars like that. I mean, cars with awful handling. If you keep pressing that button to turn, you will lose. Sure, the car will take the turn, but at what speed? That's up to you. So yeah, those are the main advantages of the control. Plus you can do, those tricks with the nitro, when you stop and hit, brake and hit, nitro, brake and hit, it's much easier on a controller because, well, you have basically two buttons, one next to each other. It's a little difficult on a keyboard because if you're playing with the arrow keys like I am playing, to hit space and brake, space and brake, sure, you can do it on a keyboard if you, or some people, I saw some people using WSAD to steer the car, and space, of course, for nitro. I think maybe they are a little better because, well, you can press space with your thumb number or thumb finger. So I don't know. I mean, I think definitely the controller has an advantage, but the players that actually are good playing on a keyboard, those are the real gods. I mean, of course, I'm talking strictly Windows. I'm not talking about mobile right now. Okay, next question. A lot of people do mistakes about the token management. Which things are to prioritize to get a good token management? Which mistakes are to avoid? Well, I think, well, the, let's say, system built into Asphalt 9, it's a little strange because they are giving tokens like, I don't know, like the rich give to the poor in a bad way. I mean, the tokens are scarce, and if you are a new player and don't have a garage, or you're not used to the cars or not used to the driving the cars on certain tracks, some events are really hard for the new players, even with the required car, if they have the required cars. So I think the best way to manage the tokens is to gather up as much as you can from events, from multiplayer, from club rewards, or any kind of event, special event, I don't know. What you need to do if you want to have, well, let's call them lots of tokens, is to, well, plan in advance, basically. Like, let's take this period. Everybody knows there's going to be, I don't know, some kind of convertible cabriolet event where, you know, there's going to be some LaFerrari Aperta involved and an SLR from Mercedes. So if you have, let's say, 3 cars out of 6 or whatever is going to be required for the LAF, you have to take in account 2 things. If you have like 5,000 tokens at the moment and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get the next car, which it's probably going to be the J, the Aventador J from Lamborghini. Sure, maybe you can unlock it or start it up, but think about it. If you look back into the past of these kind of special events, there's only one problem. Usually the cars required are to be maxed. So the 570S, for example, took a lot of blueprints. I mean, it eats a lot of tokens to max. So a lot of people didn't even unlock the car or skipped it or have it at 3 stars. Sure, they will get part of blueprints for the LF because I'm sure the cars will be required at maybe 1 star, 2 star, 4 stars and maxed. So you will get bits and pieces of the special event car, but you will not get the car at, I don't know, 4 stars or 5 stars. I don't know if they're gonna give the car the possibility to be maxed or 4 stars out of 5. I don't know, it's up to them. I mean, the Terzo could only go up 5 stars max. So I think the best way is to save up and think about if you're going to spend on this event or the next event. It depends on the car. I don't think LAF Aperta is going to be a, I don't know, king, because we got the Huerera BC, we got the 918, we got even the 570S, and we have no news about the Gently Aquilone. I think that's going to be the next king of A class. I do not think the Aperta will going to be a S-Class. Maybe sure, it will be an S-Class car, but even if it's going to be an S-Class, it will not be a king. It will be, well, a mid-tier car in A or S. Sure, maybe upper A, but not king. Definitely not king. I don't know about the SLR, the Mercedes. It's kind of next to the king. Sure, next to the Apollo and the Evo. And if it will start up like the Evo, sure, I think it's going to be a great car, especially for a B-class car. It looks, well, the top speed looks faster on paper than the Evo, but sure, slower than the Apollo. So, I don't know, it depends on how it's going to start up. I mean, acceleration, nitro efficiency, handling. We're going to find out. Plus, think about it, if you sync all your tokens into, let's say, the J, I don't know how the SLR is going to be, well, unlocked, either by token packs, either by the cars already required. It's still a no-no. If somebody has any kind of news, yeah, please share if you got anything. So, and oh yeah, the last, do not sync your tokens like, let's say, these packs, right? The Regera and the Chiron. Well, because if you have the car like 30 blueprints out of 60, no, I won't recommend spending tokens, because the Chiron and the Regera, like I told a lot of people, are not guaranteed blueprints on buying packs. They are featured, so you could definitely get only BC and 918 blueprints, and that's it. No Chiron, no Regera blueprints at all. So I've seen a lot of people wasting thousands of tokens and getting zero. Sure, I spent tokens on those packs, but the thing is, I was close, very close to 5-starring the Chiron, and I went all in on the Regera to 5-star it. So yeah, I definitely 5-starred those cars, but I was lucky. I mean, if you ask me, if I would have watched any kind of video before I hit those packs, I wouldn't have bought them. I mean, I wouldn't, but I bought them and I said, hey, how sad could the drop rate be? But it was sad for a lot of people. This was, well, a trap basically from Gameloft to spend tokens before other events. So yeah, I've seen people maxing the car or unlocking it, happy, yo 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 yo. But in the end, a lot of people got caught in this vortex of packs. Chiron, Regera, sure, those packs had the logo of the Regera and the Chiron on them, so everybody bought them like crazy. Yeah, okay, so avoid those kind of mistakes. If you have questions, you can always ask me. I've told people all the time, even on my live streams. You can find me in Discord anytime. If you don't know where, well, you've got a link now in the description. You can find me on that server. If you don't know our club server, it's fine. Okay, next question. How do you do your token management? This is something natural, you have some techniques to optimize it. Well, there's not a, let's call it, secret recipe. I think usually I'm the poorest person regarding tokens in the club, because what I do is basically invest in a car. Of course, when it's available in individual packs, like the Encore for the GS and the Egoista. So yeah, those cars who hit those packs were the best because you were guaranteed at least 3 blueprints. But let's call in the Terzo event, I hit like, I don't know, I spent 13,000 tokens on the Lambo packs. So yeah, because I wanted the Terzo to at least 4 stars. And yeah, I spent a lot on the Evo and the Egoista. Yeah, those were the 2 main important cars I required to max, so I could 4-star the Terzo. So yeah, it was against my, let's call them guidelines, but I said, what the heck? It's now or nothing. Something all in, if you want to call it poker. I don't know if you guys watch poker, some poker games. Yeah, I think it's natural. There's not a lot of it. The problem with the game is it's luck based. I've seen people unlock cars from free packs, and I've seen people spend 10k and got it to 2 stars. I don't know. I mean, it's just an example. So yeah, I've seen people spend 70k, 17k on the J and 4-starring it. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, even if you don't know, the J is not the king. Is not a, sure, it's a top tier A-class car, but it's not the best in anything except for, let's call, handling. So overall, if you want to sink tokens into the J, I would recommend looking at the VLF because, well, the VLF is free. You can max it, even make it golden, you'll get all the epics for it free, totally free. Nothing, it costs you nothing but time. And of course the required cars, but those required cars are also free, so yeah. I think the VLF is the best choice for A-class, especially for people that, let's say, start the game or want to rank up a good car in a certain class. I think the VLF is the best choice for every new player because of no token requirements. The worst car to max in an A-class is the J, the BC and the 570S. So those 3 cars require over 180 blueprints, which is very much. I mean, the J beats them all. It requires 186 blueprints to 5-star, while the BC requires 183 to 6-star. So yeah, I think the J is a token dump. So yeah, it's your choice in the end. But if you have all the other cars maxed, or I don't know, 5 stars, and you want to go for the next event for the LF, sure, sink your tokens. I probably will, but I have the 570S maxed. I got the BC to 5 stars out of 6. I've got the 918 maxed, so I have a lot of cars maxed. Sure, not golden maxed, but maxed with epics applied. So yeah, it's the probably next logical choice to sink some tokens in the J, and I don't know, maybe the SLR, and sure, maybe unlock or 4-star, 3-star, I don't know, the LF apart. I don't know how that event is going to go down. It's up to Gameloft on this. Yeah, event other J's poop, right, Stephanie? Sorry, I'm answering from Discord. Some people are typing there. Okay, so next question. What is the difference between manual driving and touch drive driving? Well, the touch drive driving, it's where actually the let's call them IE or artificial intelligence. Basically, the game engine plays for you. It accelerates, it takes turns. You just have to drift and hit nitro, of course, and tell the car where to go, left or right. I mean, left, right, and that's it. You'll get two pop up on top of your car and ask you what route should it take, left or right, or go for a nitro bottle or some. It's well, standard. It's pretty easy. It's very good for mobile, especially for people who want to kill time and just, I don't know, play a track or something like that. But for people who want to get better at this game, touch drive is no way to go, because the problem with touch drive is the game will not let you take shortcuts or go certain routes or use certain tricks. And I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no way avoiding this if you are going to use touch drive. That's why sometimes in multiplayer you see people like passing by you and say, hey, what the fuck, I'm going so fast. But you're actually not going so fast, because those people are playing with manual, and they know how to drift better, they know how to use nitro better. That's why they are always going to pass you, especially in multiplayer. Plus, if you see people in the top leaderboards in time limited events, well, this is going to be very hard to get to top 100, let's say, using touch drive. It's basically impossible. You won't do it. Even if you have a car maxed out with epics, whatever you like. Sure, I've seen people in multiplayer on iOS, for example, who had maxed Churons and they were using touch drive. But that's a bad example, because the Churon is king, so even with touch drive you well get a good result, because it had no competition basically. But it's a bad choice. This is the main difference. Touch drive players will be, well, let's call them noobs, sorry, and manual drivers will always be much better. Even, I mean, every pro player or good player or alien player, whatever you want to call it, it's using manual. Okay, next question. What are the most common mistakes, sorry, a normal gamer does in MP, TLE, career? Okay, let's not bring career into this, because career only goes from A to B. You need some cars. Plus, if you are a very skillful player, you don't even need the required rank to finish the career. I mean, sure, they put up some sign saying you need the recommended rank of 2000 rating for a certain car, but you probably can do that run even with a 1800 car rating. So yeah, it all depends on, well, your driving skills. But the common mistake every gamer makes, and I'm sure everybody knows this, is, well, using nitro in the wrong way. This is the biggest mistake people, I mean, a lot of people wait for, let's say, drift, or don't use nitro when they should be, and wait for a shockwave. Shockwaving is, well, a problem. It doesn't make you go faster, it only accelerates you faster. So even if you, let's say, you're close to top speed and you hit shockwave, you're not actually going faster. No, once you reached the top speed of the car, rest of the shockwave, it's a waste of nitro. That's why you see people shockwaving like for 1-2 seconds, then stopping nitro, and so on and so on. Those guys know what they're doing, because basically once you reach the top speed, you can switch to basic nitro, one tap space, and you'll maintain that top speed you don't need to use shockwave. But if you're well drifting or a hard corner like let's say Cairo, right, and you want to get up to speed real fast, yeah, shockwave is the way to go because you will accelerate really fast. Now there's two sides to shockwave because, well, you accelerate real fast but you spend the nitro as much as fast. So yeah, it depends on the situation and the car and things like that. But the common mistake is this: nitro efficiency and poor usage of nitro. And of course, in time limited events, it's a little different than MP because people use a lot of air tricks like going off a ramp, jumping up a, I don't know, fence or something like that, or using a different route or a route that you didn't know it could be. There are all kind of trends in time limited events, but in MP it's pretty straightforward. I mean, if you don't know the right shortcuts or the right routes, you can always play 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 10 games, or play with your mates or watch some videos, and you will definitely know the right way to go. There is no best route. I mean, there are routes that are definitely faster, but there are tracks in A9 where you can go either way, and the difference will be, I don't know, less than a half a second. I mean, it depends on the driver. I mean, a good driver can go either way and reach the same point at the same time. It doesn't matter the route, but it depends on the player, of course. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, next question. How's the shockwave nitro works? Can you explain the nitro priority on a versus? Please explain that not just car touch, a player can get wrecked in wavelength too if the car is too close. Okay, so like I said, shockwave is the way to go if you want to accelerate and go for the top speed real fast. It accelerates your car, plus the shockwave is very good when you hit a barrel or a ramp because you will reach the top airspeed really fast. The nitro priority. Okay, so if let's take a bad nitro efficiency car like, I don't know, the Ford GT, right? The Ford GT has, I don't know, 40 nitro or something like that, so it's poop. Basically, if you shockwave, you spend that nitro in 1 second, maybe 2. So what I usually do with poor efficiency cars, usually poor efficiency cars have a bigger advantage regarding top speed, so they are usually fast, or at least go fast. So I usually keep nitro. Sure, you can use blue nitro to take corners if let's say it's a twisted track or something like that, but if it's not, it's a, let's say, straightforward track, you can save up the nitro and go for shockwave on barrel and on ramps, because once you land, you will land with full speed, and that top speed, if it's high, it will help you a lot, especially versus the competition. And let's say the competition has a inferior car regarding top speed, so you will definitely get an advantage if you're using shockwave, especially to reach airspeed fast. Please explain that not just car touch. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think it has happened to all of us when sometimes you touch a player and he goes boom, and you didn't even 360 him or using nitro. Well, that happens when your car is a faster car. From what I've seen, I mean, if let's say you're in a, I don't know, H2 Pininfarina, right? That goes like 330, and I'm in a Vencer which goes 349. Yeah, I'm talking kilometers per hour. So if I touch you with top speed, no nitro, no nothing, usually you get wrecked just by touching. But the the bad thing is if the Pininfarina is using, well, let's say blue, and he touches you, you're gonna get wrecked. So it's kind of messed up regarding the the knockdowns. I mean, it's not a foolproof recipe. It's from my experience, what I've seen and what I've experienced in this game. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know. But sometimes it looks random, but it's actually not, because there was a time, I mean, in the SV Aventador, the Lamborghini series, where everybody was using the SV in multiplayer, and I've seen a lot of people on Himalayas just touching each other, no 360, no nothing, and one of them went boom because one of them was going faster than the other, although they had the same car. So yeah, that's the thing. How to start a race correctly in general? Do you have some special strategies when you start in front and when you start behind? Well, it depends on the car. If you have a high acceleration car, you don't have to use nitro or anything like that. You'll just fly by everyone. For example, let's take the Evo, because I think a lot of people maxed it or have it start up a lot lately. The Evo has 84 acceleration, which is super good. So when you start a race, let's say if you start from front or second or almost in the front pack, you won't have to use nitro or any things like that. You just let it go, because the car will accelerate real fast. And because the Evo has great nitro efficiency, you can maintain the top speed a lot. So yeah, but the question was when you start behind. Well, let's take also the Evo, because I gave the Evo as an example. If you start from behind, and let's say all the other cars are also Evos, you have two choices basically. You either go and mash up the space button and take a little boost and maybe bypass, I don't know, 2-3 players, maybe in an 8-player game. But even if you use nitro from the start, you will not get from 8 to 1. It's impossible. Even if that guy has a, I don't know, inferior Evo than yours, because you do not accelerate that fast. So what I usually recommend is keep the starting nitro. It depends on the map too. I mean, let's take for example Shanghai. If you start, there's a yellow bottle in the next, I don't know, 5 seconds of the race. So if you keep the starting nitro and drift just a little and hit that yellow bottle, you can hit shockwave and then the ramp. So it will bring it to full speed really fast. And even if the guys have a superior car than yours, you're still gonna get an advantage. So I usually like to keep the starting nitro safe, but it depends on car to car and season to season and track to track. I mean, it's up to you. Some people use it all the time, some people don't. If you have a low efficiency car but the top speed is very good, I would recommend against using the initial nitro, because you're getting nowhere. You're gonna get a 10 kilometers boost and that's it. So yeah, it depends on the stats of the car. Okay, next question. How to manage nitro in multiplayer race to get enough nitro at the right moment? Okay, well, this is the this is the main trick or the main attraction of this game, Nitro. I mean, every car will reach top speed no matter what you do, at one point. Sure, Nitro only helps you to reach a certain, let's call it speed, or get you up to the top speed faster. It doesn't actually bring you past the maximum top speed. That's the only role to the Nitro. In multiplayer, is like I said, it depends on the track. If the track is a twisty one, I would recommend not to, I don't know, drift to shockwave. No, don't do that. Let's take Rome. If you are waiting to reach a shockwave nitro, then you're gonna lose a lot of time. It's better to use the blue nitro on Rome because you're going to maintain at a certain speed for a longer time, especially when taking corners. So go as high as you can in the start. I don't know, maybe max if you have, depend on the Rome variant of the track, but go as fast as you can and then just maintain the nitro. Keep it. Use it on barrels, on ramps, or flat spin where you can. If it's, well, depends on the car. If the car has a low efficiency, you definitely have to flat spin. If it's a high efficiency nitro car, you don't have to flat spin and you can use nitro all the way. Red, preferably, free taps, or shockwave, you have enough nitro. That's the main thing in multiplayer, is keeping at least some nitro in case of emergency. Do not spend it all, and if you spend all the nitro, just if you have a little portion of straight track, use brake drift. If you don't know what brake drift is when you are in a straight line, you hit drift and let go. You are not actually drifting, the car is actually braking a little, but if you are doing top speed, you won't notice any speed loss. I mean, you lose about something like 1-2 kilometers, but you're gonna get some nitro, and that some nitro could make a little difference between winning and losing a game. So, because if you brake drift like 3-4 times and you hit a yellow bottle, you can shockwave them. But if you don't brake drift not once and you hit that yellow bottle, you can't shockwave. You only, well, red nitro. So the other people who use this trick will shockwave and pass you. They will basically reach top speed faster than you. Okay. Next question. How do you manage a situation where you are in front of the race? Okay, when you are in front of the race, you have to do, well, a couple of things. First of all, try not to wreck. What I do, if I have a little lead, I usually stop taking risks, like, I don't know, going off certain ramps or going on a certain route that could make me probably wreck, like Scotland, right? If you use on Scotland, when you start the start of the race, you have a ramp and a barrel on the right. So usually people go for the barrel, but there's a high risk that you will wreck on landing. So if I have a, well, let's say better car than the rest of the players in that race, I don't go for the barrel. I just go for a flat spin because it's safer. 99% of the cases you don't wreck. So that's the thing. But if you are I don't know, on Rome or something like that, just keep your cool and act like they are in front of you and not behind you, because if you're acting like they're behind you, you're gonna make a mistake. I don't know, big, small, some mistake, and if those mistakes make you wreck, then, well, you're gonna lose your first place and you're gonna finish second or third or worse. It depends on the season, on and how many players are in the game. Plus, if there are seasons like Slipstream, if you wreck, you're gone from 1 to 8 instantly, because people are are usually using shockwave non-stop. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do in a situation when you're in front. Keep cool, use nitro in the same way you were using before you got to first place, and you'll be safe. You'll have no problems maintaining your position. Okay, next question. How do you manage a situation where you are last or at penultimate place? So last or almost last. Yeah, sure. Well, I think you've heard a lot of people saying or posting videos about comebacks. So what you basically have to do is make a comeback. Now, there are a little more than one situation here. If your car is capable or faster or superior to the competition in that race, you can definitely make a comeback if you, let's say, wreck at the beginning of the race. But if you're going to wreck at, I don't know, at 80% of the map, of the track, you will not be able to catch up. It's impossible. But if you wreck in the first 20%, usually there's a high probability that you can turn the bad situation into at least a, okay one. Let's not say best one. Because if, let's say you got a, I don't know, 918 maxed, right? And you crash in the start of the race, but the other guys are, I don't know, using Aventador SVs and not maxed at 4 stars. So because your car is better in all things like acceleration and nitro efficiency, you can catch up to them and overpass them again. But if they have inferior cars than you, but you wreck at 80% of the map, you will not be able to catch up. Plus, it depends on what car you're using, what kind of race it is, the track I mean, and it depends if the track is a 1-lap track or a 2-track. Like now, in this season it's a 2-lap, so if you wreck in the first lap, you still maybe, I'm saying maybe, can catch up if that guy in front of you makes some mistakes, not necessarily wreck, some mistakes, I don't know, hit a wall or a traffic car or something like that, you could definitely catch up to them. So now it depends on track to track, like I said, and car to car. So yeah, the best situation is like maintaining the first. Use nitro efficiently, and don't forget to always save some nitro, because you never know when you're going to need it. Okay. Next question. How do you manage a situation when you have a disadvantage, car less powerful, and positioning in a versus during a race? You have two choices, basically. You either, I don't know, sure, it sounds a little strange now, it's coming from me. You either make that car, I don't know, push him if you're certain that you will not be able to stay in front. Like, let's say you're using a Viper ACR, right? C-class car, cool, very good efficiency handling, but very bad top speed. And the other guy, I don't know, is using an Apollo. So yeah, you don't stand a chance. But you can do things like micromanaging nitro better, because the Apollo has downsides. I mean, the nitro efficiency on the Apollo sucks, so you could sometimes catch up to him. Sure, he will go a lot faster than you, but you can catch up to him on corners. So it's always track dependent. If you're going, let's take Rome, you're probably gonna stay behind him a lot of times. So waiting for him to make a little mistake. If he makes a little mistake, then you'll definitely be able to pass him. So it all comes down on not touching walls and using nitro efficiency to take corners or hit the barrels. Don't hit the barrels wrongly. You know, if you hit the barrel wrongly and you go too high, you're going to actually losing speed, not gaining speed. So it depends on a lot of things, but this is, well, from my experience, the best way to cope with the fact that your car is inferior. Plus it depends a lot on the car, because if you have I don't know, a Tryon, right, Nemesis, and you have it at 3 stars and the other guy has it at 4 stars, it won't make a big difference. I mean, if you are a little bit better than him at driving, you will definitely stay in front or pass him or whatever. But if you have a 3-star Tryon and he has a 6-star one, yes, you're going to have problems, because he's going to have better acceleration, nitro efficiency, even top speed or things like that. Oh, so sorry if my keyboard is yeah, I know. Yeah, I can hear it lively on the stream. So yeah, what else can I tell you? Well, these are the main advantages if you guys are in a tight situation, is always keeping it cool. Do not forget that nitro is, well, scarce. Basically, if you are in a map where you know the next battle is going to be, well, a long time from where your position is on the map, you're going to have to brake drift. So brake drift a lot, and don't forget the fast cars, real fast cars, I mean, like the Tryon or the Regera or cars like that, who have low nitro efficiency. So those cars are basically very good cars at riding walls. So what's riding a wall? It's basically when you are touching a wall or a barrier or things like that, and the car does not lose speed. If you touch the wall at a right angle with at least basic nitro, you're going to maintain top speed throughout that wall. It works great on Himalayas, because you have portions on the track where you can, well, you know, ride wall or things like that. So there are a lot of places where you can ride wall, but this is the first that comes to mind because of the, you know, the Fury event just passed with the Ford GT, and they were doing a lot of ride walling there. You had to do, because, well, the Ford sucks in nitro. Okay, I got 2 questions from Discord. The first one: among all your records, which one do you consider the best run so far? The best run. Okay, it's a tough one. I usually don't excel in time limited events. I don't actually try to excel because, like I said, there's no gain. I think I've said it before in my interview. But if you want a best of the best, I made a video on the Evil Lancer, right? Where you could get 100 tokens. I beat a lot of time. I helped a lot of people. I know I did, because, well, they showed me their times. So I showed them well, an average route to complete the necessary time, not some alien going up a barrel, doing some twists on a, I don't know, fence or things like that. No, I don't like those kind of videos, because those kind of videos are only doable by a very, very small percentage of people. So in my opinion, a good guide is a guide that 90 to 95% of the people can actually do that same route without, I don't know, some special tricks, or I don't know, using a controller or things like that. Just with basic keyboard, sensitivity, and a basic car with some nitro tricks and things like that, but nothing too special. I think that's a accomplishment, let's call it that way. Yeah, if you want to go that way. Okay, next question. How to stop a 360 without losing too much speed? Okay, if you're coming from air, right, and you're going to 360 on a flat spin, and you want to land straight up, I mean not moving. If the car is spinning on the left, my best guess, I mean it works in 99% of the times, still, at least to me, is to brake and press right, basically the other way the car is spinning. If it's spinning on the right, going on the right, then brake and hit left, and usually you'll hit the ground straight up, not overspinning, no nothing. And there's always another trick. If you, let's say, land and start overspinning, do not people, when they see overspinning, they try to hit drift like crazy. No, don't do that. Never do that, because when you're doing that, you're losing even more speed, because the car is actually trying to drift, and it can't drift because you're actually spinning. What you have to do when you, let's say, do an overspin, one, not 5 or 4 or 1, is hit nitro. Hit nitro exactly when the car is let's call 90 degrees with you. When the car is 90 degrees to you, so basically it's facing forward to you, right? And you hit nitro and the car starts going forward again, you will not lose speed. Actually, you will maintain that speed you hit with nitro, of course. If you're going, I don't know, 500 and you're spinning and the top speed is 500, you will maintain the 500 speed. But if you are spinning and overspinning and losing speed a lot and hit nitro, you're going to only maintain that speed, like 300 kilometers or things like that. So yeah, 360 and stopping 360 from air, it's an art basically, because it's not the same and it's not guaranteed. I've seen a lot of people overspin, even the pro players, even the, I don't know, the best YouTubers, the best influencers, I saw them overspin. So there's not a guaranteed recipe for this, but from my experience, this is the best way to stop a 360 from overspinning. Okay, got another question from a mate. What is the difference between orange and blue nitro? It's very easy. Every nitro, basic, blue, orange and shockwave, have different advantages and disadvantages. The orange nitro lets you accelerate really fast. I mean faster than the blue nitro and the basic nitro, but slower than the shockwave, of course. The orange nitro is best used in hitting barrels or ramps, or trying to, I don't know, get a little boost sometimes. It's going to help you accelerate faster, but you will spend the nitro a lot quicker. If you've seen the Evo contest that just passed, and I think a lot of people watch videos, the best way in that certain track and time limited event contest was to hit orange nitro from the start and start hitting IEs and staying up with orange nitro all the way, because that way the car was accelerating real fast all the way to the top speed. The blue nitro is a very good way to take corners. It's better to be used on the ground, not in the air. If you use blue nitro on hitting a barrel or hitting a ramp, you're not going to accelerate as fast as you're going to as when you are using an orange nitro. So blue nitro for taking corners, orange nitro for fast acceleration, barrels, ramps, and high efficiency cars like the Evo or the BC for reaching top speed real fast. Okay, let's see if I got any more questions. Well, no. Okay, so, well, I think that's it. I don't know, Roadmaster, give me a heads up, type something to me if it's okay with you. Sorry for the moment of silence, people. Yeah, this is the first time I'm doing this, so like I said in the beginning, it's nothing, it's I don't know, recorded or pre-made or something like that. It's all live. Okay, so we're done for today. I'm going to post this link in the A9 social when it's up by YouTube. So thanks for being with me, and I hope I see you guys tomorrow at the same time. I don't think it's going to be live tomorrow. It's going to be my last day, and it's going to be in writing, of course, for keeping track of everything. So I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Have a nice day, and don't forget, peace out. See ya.